Ortli of Switzerland. Now, she's 24 years old. She's fortunate to be here. She made the team as a substitute when Zoa House was injured in training a couple of days ago.
Well, Frank, there have been a lot of injuries on the circuit this year. Lisa Wilcox, the #2 downhill for the United States, badly broke her leg last week. Now, the thing up here we have to consider here is we see Ortli go down. She's a very big girl, big for an alpine ski racer, but she's an outstanding athlete. Oh, we can see her come around that turn. Kind of lost a little bit of speed, I think, right there. But the thing about it is it's very wind up here, so there's a little bit of a luck factor. It could be coming up the hill and hit you in the chest, or maybe it could be a little downwind and give you a little boost. Anyway, you have to stay low in that tuck.
That's Kirkler's time on the left, and as you can see, Ortli of Switzerland was a little behind that up at the top of the hill.
Well, she did get that earlier turn. One thing about this downhill, every little mistake is going to be accented, so they have to be sure to try to minimize those mistakes.
Again, that's Kirkler's time on the left, and this is the second intermediate point in which we can compare racers as they come down.
Oh, she picked up a lot of time.
She picked up a lot of time, and she is a versatile ski racer. She has had 2 second-place finishes in the downhill, but she's done well in slalom and in giant slalom.
Okay, if she can get through the S turn coming up here, she could really be in pretty good shape. She's picked up a lot of...
Here she comes, Birgitta Ortli of Switzerland.
See her get down in that tuck, Frank. She's trying to get that chest as low as she can. Being a big is a little bit difficult sometimes. There she is on the bump, now coming in the finish line.
She handled that bump well. That's Kirkler's time on the left, and Ortli will take the lead. Ortli is the new leader. Birgitta Ortli of Switzerland, the new leader. She's had a good year. Second, third year on the Austrian Tour. She is the same age as Michaela Fagini of Switzerland, only they are a world apart in terms of winning experience.
Well, Frank, it seems as though every time you take a look at the finish line through this whole season, there's a Swiss standing there in first place. They have a tremendous women's program, men too, for that matter. But one thing that we must remember, watching this Austrian Gudensson come down here, that in one of their great days was here in Catarina back in December when they were first, second, and third in the downhill. So maybe that'll give them some confidence.
Young Katrin Gudensson working her way down the top of the hill. That is Kirkler's time over in the left. She had the best intermediate time up at the top, and that is the time of Gudensson on the right, and she's faster than Kirkler up at the top.
But she made a mistake right there coming out of that tuck. You have to keep those arms in to stay right in it, particularly here on the top part. Very important.
Any little mistake on this hill can really cost you. You have to carry speed throughout the entire, no chance whatsoever.
Tremendous amount of pressure on this Austrian team. They did win a medal in Sarajevo, something that has not been lost in translation on the people back home, and they're really clamoring for some scalps.
Gudensson has exceeded the time of, or rather bettered the time of Ortli at that second intermediate checkpoint. Good run going, Bob.
She does, Frank. She was very good through the turns right here.
18 years old, and boy, do they race.
And she missed almost all of last year with injuries, so this is really her chance to run strong. She is young, as you mentioned. Skiing well, too.
Running time on the right, and you'll see the time of the leader coming up on the left. That's the time that Gudensson has to beat to take the lead. That is Ortli's time, and Gudensson has the lead. An 18-year-old Austrian has taken the lead. So we have Gudensson, Ortli, and Kirkler. Sigrid Wolf, start house. She's from Austria. She's 21 years old. Net winner on the circuit, but she's consistently in that top 15. She's on the court, and I'd like to point out we're going to lose sight of Sigrid Wolf in just a moment here as she makes his first turn, and that is where that camera blew off his flat last night.
Sigrid Wolf had a little bit of trouble right in that first left-hand turn, and that's a bad mistake because he has a long flat coming up. Kind of an interesting position because the Austrians only won 1 medal, and that was in the men's downhill in Sarajevo last year, none in the women. So they're really trying to atone for that here. Now they're sitting with Gudensson in first place, so they have an Austrian in first place, someone to shoot for.
And up at the top, Wolf has the fastest time. She has taken over from Gudensson up at the top. She was faster than her teammates, Gudensson up on the top. She has a good run going. The Austrians performing well here today. Gudensson down at the bottom. She has watched teammate come down the course. That's Gudenson's intermediate time on the left, the second intermediate time, and here comes Wolf on the right. And she again is faster on the course. She has a good run going. She could take the lead.
Well, she could get through these turns. Good shape. A little bit of a slip right there. Look at her, though, Fred, to stay in her tuck the whole way down here. That's Burton on this downhill.
Sigrid Wolf, and perhaps they have the right wax for the course condition today, Beats.
Okay, it's very hard, very icy down here at the bottom. We can see Wolf really good run down here, really getting low in that tuck. She's got the bump right there. Good job over it.
That is Gudenson's time on the left, and that's Wolf's running time on the right. And no, she did not overtake her teammate by 1/100th of a second. And that is the margin between victory and defeat in alpine ski racing. And of course, that's why it is dramatic, so attractive. They are going at speeds of Swiss racer, and we have so many of them. 23-year-old Arne Erath of Switzerland. And of course, she had a great disappointment in the Olympics a year ago. She was in third place when Olga Tova came down late in the field and replaced her, taking the bronze medal. So she would like to get the gold here. Arne Erath of Switzerland on the course.
Frank, she's the smallest downhill specialist on the circuit, so she should be able to really get low on her tuck up here. Maybe cut down on some of that wind resistance. Hopefully not get a gust of air coming up and hitting her.
Wind is continuing. Oh, she had a
maybe try to
problem
get
there.
into her tuck a little bit early there. Maybe she should have gotten through the turn a little bit first before she tried to get. She's a little bit anxious.
Again, it's hard to predict the time at the top because of that gusty wind. That's Wolf's time on the left. She's had the best time up at the top of the hill, and Erath is better.
Well, she looked pretty good in the turn, except that one little mistake. See, she's trying to get just as small as she can now. Doing a pretty good job with the tuck position right through here.
Aerodynamics so important on this type of course. You have to maintain that speed.
You also have to really relax through here, not get stiff, particularly in those ankles. Let those ankles kind of follow the contours of the snow. Any tightening there will affect the skis. Now this big turn coming up right here.
She lost a little bit because she's behind the time of Wolf in that second intermediate checkpoint.
But she was very good through that turn right there, Frank.
Arne Erath of Switzerland. She's never won a race. She'd love to make it here.
She's fighting just a little bit getting through that turn, but not bad. Got back down her tuck. Didn't fight it too much. The key is to let those skis run a little bit, even though maybe you think they're going a little bit wide sometimes. Good
off the jump.
Very good at the bump.
Good off the jump. Here comes Erath this time on the left, and Erath has moved into a tie for first place with Gudensson. They have identical to 1:28.57. That's hard to believe. We've seen it on rare occasions, but you do not see it very often. I guess we're going to start calibrating in thousandths of a second. They are getting hundredths of a second, and meanwhile up at the top of the hill, this is Michela Fagini of Switzerland. He, of course, was the beneficiary of that postponement because yesterday she was in second place after she had come down the hill when they finally postponed the race after 12 racers had come down. Michela Fagini, one of the great racers.
Oh, Frank, she lost the pole right at the start. Really a bad break for her.
She did. She had trouble at the start house. One thing about this youngster, she's only 18, but she will at the course for you.
And she was very good on that very first turn. She really got around it in good shape. That means she can carry speed down onto this flat here. Frank, the most important thing about Fagini is her aggressiveness. I know that she's going to come really firing down this one.
Michela Fagini, gold medal at Sarajevo. She has won the last
great in that turn.
Downhill. She's good up at the top. That's her running time on the right, and a little lower than Aaron, 7/100ths of a second on the top. But certainly she can make it up on the bottom because she is an aggressive, almost nerveless skier.
Well, very aggressive. You know, she used to train with the boys and beat them most of the time when she was a youngster. She is very headstrong, likes to train alone. I'll tell you, she's going to have to pour it on down here because Erath and Gudensson had a good run.
That's Wolf's time in the bottom, and Fagini is fast. She has made up time, and now she'll take the course. And there are a lot of Swiss fans here because she comes from just over the border. And as a matter of fact, in her province, they speak Italian, as she does.
Well, she's having a great run down here right now. Only 18 years old, Frank. Look at how she's sliding down here. She's won the last 3 downhills. She's having a great run.
Hard to believe, even at 18 years old, she is already, they're talking in terms of her as being one of the great racers of all time. She got a little bit of air there off that bottom up.
She's really going to win this one easily.
Yes, she does. First place for Michela Fagini of Switzerland. He takes the lead over Aaron Gudensson, who are tied for second place. But Michela Fagini has absolutely destroyed them on the bottom course. She was a little slower up in the top than Aaron, but she made up the difference on the bottom of the course. And what a remarkable young woman skier. And interestingly...